Nicole here, and I'm so glad you all decided to tune into today's Undoing. So, to get us started on this undoing journey, the first thing that we're going to talk about is self esteem. Yes, self esteem. And sometimes self esteem gets drowned by self care and self love, which I'll explain down the line why that's important. But I want to start with why I think self esteem is such an important part of our journey. I struggled with my self esteem in high school, in middle school, in elementary school, and all that translated into my adult life. And it translated into my love life, it translated into my relationships, it translated into my work ethic, it translated into my everyday. And because I never attacked those issues or acknowledged them, they just sat here in the gook of my stomach, just stirring and causing me pain and agony. And it took me a while to realize that that was even my problem, that I was even having those self-esteem issues, and that it really did bother me. It started in elementary school when, honestly, my whole life I was never one of the girls that people just drooled over. I was just your average Jane, and I'm fine with that now because I know now that I'm not. I know now that I am amazing. But at the time, I didn't think that. Unfortunately, I went to school with so many girls with the long hair, skinny, petite shapes, pretty teeth, sassy attitudes. Always had the nice things, and I went to an elementary school that was not for the faint at heart, okay? I know you think of elementary school, but it got real, and it took me some time to know how to adapt to me not feeling like myself, because when I was made fun of, I took it too seriously, because rather than it being just a joke about my flaws, it made me feel like the worst person on earth. When it came to my girlfriends, I always felt like the ugly duckling. Like I had short hair, buzz cut, what I thought was nappy, the chubby one, acne, a gap, glasses, couldn't afford the nice things, wearing my sister hand-me-downs. I was not the flyest of the fly. I wasn't. And I hung around with people, like my two closest friends. They were long, beautiful hair, fair skin, clear faces, nice slim bodies, curvy bodies, always had the best of the best and money in their pocket. I didn't fit into that circle. At least that's what I thought. I was the ugly duckling of the group. I was the one of the group. I was the one that everybody wanted to be cool homies with. And that translated into my adult life and how I carried myself as an adult. I had partners tell me that they didn't want to be with me because they didn't feel like I was their girlfriend. I was their homie because of the way I carried myself. And that all was in regards to how I felt about myself. I felt ugly. I didn't know who I was, what I was. So how could I express myself through my dress, through the way I styled myself, through feeling good, because I didn't know who I was. And that's a very important part to self-esteem, because how can you know how to feel about yourself when you don't know who you are, right? Yeah, I thought so too. So eventually what it took was me stepping away from a heartbreak that made me feel very little about myself. It was the second heartbreak I had that made me feel like I was ugly, wasn't lady enough, I wasn't girly enough, I was, it just made me feel bad about myself. And then I had to really look in the mirror and look at myself and be like, you're ugly because you're not you. You're ugly because you're not exuding the light that is meant for you to exude. You're trying to absorb the energy that others have and then present it so that you can feel what they feel and you can connect to them. You got to stop doing that, and you really got to look into yourself. That's to help me build my self-esteem. I got back to me, what I liked, what I love, and as I started to establish myself as a person, as Bree Nix, as Bria Nicole, I started to gain my beauty and what made me feel good and what made me feel like I was just filled with enough energy to not only love me, but to dance in the love I have with myself, to share it, to express it. That's a part of self-esteem. And that's the difference between self-esteem and self-love and self-care, right? Self-love is having that love for yourself. I matter. I know I matter. And I love myself, and I don't want to cause no harm to myself. I love me. Self-love. Self-care. What am I going to do to pour into myself to make sure that I show myself that love? Self-esteem is how you feel about that person you are. How you feel about that person you love. Let me rephrase that, because how you feel about that person you love. How you feel about that person that you have established yourself to be. Do you appreciate that person? Do you want to grow as that person? Do you think that maybe you need to start reevaluating who that person is? That's where self-esteem plays a part, because if you're not comfortable with who that person you are now standing in is, that person that you're so affirmative about, if you're not truly comfortable, and I mean truly comfortable, because I think we sometimes forget what that means. I think sometimes because we live in our skin every day, we've convinced ourselves that we're comfortable. But just because we're living in our skin, that doesn't mean that we're comfortable in it, right? Right. Because I love this. I love me. Oh gosh, I love me. But sometimes I hate the fact that I think my titties said too low. That's where self-esteem plays a part. Because even though it bothers me, and it might just be a part of who I am in my body, I do it anyway. I let them free. Because that's self-esteem. Self-esteem is having that much love for yourself that even your flaws, you're able to look past and wear them bare for everyone to see. Because believe it or not, there's going to be someone out there who loves that flaw. And that's why we need to build our self-esteem and acknowledge who we are in every aspect of ourselves. Because we don't know what we have that we might be able to give to others, that they might be able to receive, or that can uplift us, or that can push us forward to where we need to be. So I hope that sat with you. I hope that you gained something from that, and I hope that you were able to understand the importance of self-esteem and why it goes hand in hand with self-love and self-care. Because you can't have one without the other. You'll never be at peace. You'll never feel complete. You'll always be looking for the missing piece of the puzzle. You have to have all three built into you, inscribed into you, so that you really feel it running through you, and that when you speak it and when you stand into it, it's truth. And that is not for someone else, and that is not for a facade, and that it's for you, and that you're building this feeling for you. And then whatever else comes along after that is what comes along. That's the part of the journey. And let me also tell you this. This video might have you feeling good for right now, but it might not be the forever fix. You have to keep the initiative going on your journey to self-esteem, because things happen in life that trigger and affect that. Ladies, we might have our babies, body don't bounce back, self-esteem. As we're getting older and the wrinkles are starting to show and the gray hairs are popping, self-esteem. As we maneuver through different jobs and different neighborhoods through life as we grow, self-esteem can all play a factor when these new avenues and changes happen in our life, because we're being put in different environments and we're doing something outside of our norm when change happens, which is the constant of life, right? So now that we know that that can be an issue, and when we feel it, we can identify it. It's a matter of coping through it. And I hope that this is something you can watch to help cope. We touch on everything from self-esteem to starting over new to why is love not working for you, or whatever it is you want to talk about. Turning yourself around. Sometimes it's not necessarily starting over. Sometimes you're not trying to do something new. But sometimes you're trying to get back to where you were because something drifted you away. So I can help you get back to where you were. We're going to help each other get back to where we were because I'm on this journey with you. And that's why I'm able to get up here and preach and speak to you, because I am on this journey with you. My journey of undoing began later in life, but it's not going to end anytime soon. And to be honest, I don't think it's ever going to end. And to be honest, I don't want it to end because I love this journey I am on. I love the path that I am walking because it is taking me to a new level of enlightenment every time I surpass an obstacle. Every time where I feel myself in that dark place that I am able to pull myself out. And that is the most beautiful feeling that I felt thus far, because I am able to be my own light. And that is my motivation along this journey. Because I think to myself, if I did it once, I can do it again. And if I did it again, I can do it again. And if I can do it again, I can do it again. And if I can keep doing it, I can now help others do it and guide them to do it and teach them to do it and inspire them to do it. Because I don't expect your journey to be the same as mine. I am not going to tell you to do all the same things I did. You are not me and I am not you. But I will be here to uplift you, push you, and be an enormous resource for that journey. I am your one-stop shop for undoing. I created undoing to share with you. So what you gonna do? Are you ready? Are you ready to join me as I undo? Because this is only the surface of self-esteem. And if we're gonna really unravel and get to what's in there, we gotta connect. So subscribe, like, follow, tell a friend, 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 tell a friend. And let's get this damn thing going. Let's make that difference in life that we want to see. Let's be that difference in life we want to see. Let's make that difference in life we want to be. And let's be that difference in life that we want to see. Y'all, I'm wrapped out. I ain't got nothing else to say. I think that I'm going to have to change my affirmations to that right there. I'll see y'all later. And remember to undo.